Welcome to the Scott Outpost Investigators podcast. We are a collective group who analyzes the Zenless Zone Zero endgame and has a bunch of talks about it, and we're all cool and epic. Today's episode is a bit of a hearty one as we are wrapping up the end of 2.4 and getting to the holiday season. Have our usual co-hosts here. I am Savadra. I'm hosting today because our usual host, Softy Mage, is unable to make it. So I will be guiding us through our discussion today. And we have a co-host of Thirsty Blood.
And greetings, everyone.
And a co-host of Chap from Canada.
Hello. I know I'm here this week. I'm here this week, and for the equivalent exchange to work, Softy's got to not be here.
It's the way, the bylaws of the universe. It is what it is.
It works, honestly. I mean, hey, we are three people. We can yap. So, all things considered, I think we are solid.
So yeah, today we're going to be going over Shiyu Defense Season 36 and Deadly Assault Season 25. Both of the final seasons of each one for the patch 2.4. And then we will go into talking about how 2.5 is looking for us and the hype around it for certain events and also the possible Shiyu changes. So, with that said, let's begin with Shiyu Defense. How are we feeling, boys?
I did like it.
I also did like it this week. We got a newcomer to the Shiyu lineup.
That is the Sacrifice Covenant Guardian up in floor 7. She's a very spooky looking thing. Kind of a bird, big thing, flies around, has wings.
It's kind of got the angel vibe, like the.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the Covenant Guardian.
Yeah, it's a new boss that was, or a new mini boss that was found in the 2.4 story. It's a pretty interesting thing overall, I think. Has some fairly like unique attacks and a miasma phase. It is a miasma enemy. But it's, I don't know. I personally liked the Shiyu overall. I feel indifferent overall to kind of everything that was there in both the lower floors and the higher floors. We have like pretty much all just normal ethereal enemies in the lower floors from 4 and 5 with standard Frenzied Maniac, Wicked Wraith, Ruthless Fiend, Dullahan, Banriek, and then Wanted Enforcer in floor 5 and Miasmic Wicked Wraith, which I still haven't found as much of a different enemy, but it is what it is. The Ionized Pugnus up in the second half of floor 5 as well. And then 6th floor with Ravager Avarice and the Doppelganger Hugo, the Miasmic Hugo. And floor 7 with the Covenant Guardian we just mentioned, and the Heretic Jester. Double sacrifice floor, now that I look at it. Interesting.
Yeah.
It was.
They've got enough in the game now that they could probably consistently do that now.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I was surprised about Hugo and the Arrowverse to be on floor 6. Like, when I played, I was like, we have on floor 7 the Averus and Hugo again, because they're typically up there. But no, this time it was in floor 6, and then we had the other one, which was a positive surprise, honestly. And also we had interesting buffs as well.
Lots of sheer this week.
Yeah,
it was sheer, but
buff this
also...
cycle.
So... Yes, sorry.
Yeah, buff this cycle is... pretty good overall. I think like the sheer damage 15% is like, it's something. I think it's not a whole lot. It is the like max stack effect of Yunkoi Tails, 4-piece Yunkoi Tails for free and then some. So it is a good bit in comparison to what like is available for Rupture agents right now, but like it's not the most we've ever seen. Cough Pinnacle. Fire and ice damage increased by 20%, and then a pretty universal second conditional. Basic attacks and EX specials landing critical hits increase agent crit damage by 5%, stacking up to 10 times for 5 seconds. And you can like keep that, but it's basically just good for basic attacks, good for EX specials, and good for crit damage or crit agents. And that's a lot of
Yeah.
agents.
That's a lot
So
of agents except anomaly most of the
Yeah.
time.
normally kind of getting shafted
Don't
again
add
in
me,
terms of buff,
Miyabi.
but it is what it is.
I think the anomaly still performs fine, especially if you go like Bernice or Miyabi, you have the ice damage, so those two at least get something out of the buff. And Miyabi specifically because she also can make use of the critical hit application. So basically everyone with a Miyabi has an easy time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did end up using Bernice in a fair bit of my Shiyu. Again,
Was it
like
Critness?
it was not Critnius, it was just pure anomaly
Oh,
Bernice.
really? Interesting.
But I used it in floors 5 and 6.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, it was a pretty a good Shiyu with a variety. The buffs were solid. I went for after a long time. I did something. I used an agent I haven't really used in a long time, which was Shuyuan. Shuyuan with Dial-In and Nicole.
Ooh.
Yeah, very cool team, very interesting. Like, thanks to the 4 puffer set I have now, the 4-piece puffer set, with good substats. I think I have one of my strongest Shu Yuans ever on my account because she has 32% pen ratio, but still over 3,100 attack and over 230% crit damage. Like
Wow.
these substats go insane on her. And this combined with Nicole and Dial-In is quite an interesting combo. I
Is that
didn't.
also with Julian's signature?
This was with Shuya and Signature, yes, yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So I was surprised about that, but I had quite a fun. I had to adapt a little bit with the gameplay. Everos, I mean, like I went through there with one shots basically, so it was always one try, so I didn't perfect it. But even though it wasn't perfect, like Everos was done in 1 minute 37, and like I went against the Covenant, the Angel Digimon Ethereal.
Digimon Ethereal. That's funny.
With Shuyuan, and it was under 2 minutes with not knowing about anything about the enemy, and also basically the first try. So I didn't even retry this boss, and I think this goes to show that I probably can go around to 1 minute, between 1 minute 30 and 1 minute 45 if I optimize, or even better, depending on, how I play. But yeah, it was interesting. My second team was again a classic. I went through with Manado, who did also pretty solid overall. Like, I think it was in stage. Like I always went kind of neutral and sometimes missed the elemental advantage. So yeah, it was quite solid. I had a lot of fun. I do like the new Angel, thanks to me playing her 2 minutes long, as a for 2 minutes. I saw a little bit of her pattern, and I think she's very solid to play. And her miasma phase is honestly I kind of like it, because she's very active, so you can parry her out of the miasma phase and you get resources back. And it's not too long, in my opinion, at least when I played it. Though with Shuyon it's a little bit harder, so you have to consider how you parry with your team. But yeah, overall, positive experience. The older agents can be used still. Even A-rank agents will like Monado. So yeah, how was your experience, Evatra and Chep? How did you play it?
I in my upper floor, and in specifically floor 7, I up to floor 6, I was using my benchmark teams. I've mentioned in a couple episodes at this point, but I like do a thing with a bunch of like different teams to like test them, like test my account power and like balance against the state of the end game. And I used as many of my benchmark teams as I could have against 4, 5, and 6, and then 7 I just kind of compromised and was like, all right, I kind of want to use different agents, but I think these floors are a little strong, so I'm just gonna use more standard teams. And I had Monato, Jofufu, Lucia on first half, and then Yuzu Ice on the second half, just because. And I did also get sub 2 minutes on both of them, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
The Covenant Guardian is a fairly interesting enemy of like having, like, I think a lot of like if suits Monato well, I think, because it has a lot of attacks you can parry. Is like, I mean, that's kind of a trend that's just been happening with a bunch of enemies lately. There's just like a lot of defensive assists on the enemies that have been releasing as of late, so it's really good for Monato just overall. But yeah, I'm not sure why, but I am looking at it on Hakushin, and this Covenant Guardian, it did not feel like this at all whatsoever. So maybe that just goes into certain things about what the buffs are doing for Rupture agents. But this Covenant Guardian has 34.7 million HP. And
What?
that is a staggering number to look at when you think about how that enemy felt to fight. It does not feel like that at all whatsoever.
That might be our bias coming through. Because that is a lot of HP.
This is a lot of HP. Yeah, I wouldn't even believe it, because Shuyuan, even though she's busted with a good 4-piece set and with M1 dial in, but this is wild, honestly. It took me two stun windows and then like a little bit main fights without a third stun window. So like this surprises me a lot, especially since Shuyuan is elemental neutral on Ether. Wow.
I think it's just the crit damage is just kind of coming in clutch from the stage effect. Like it.
Probably
50% is quite a lot because it's 50% at max stacks, and that's quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, you have to work for it. I mean, you do get it, but that's interesting. Honestly, that's very interesting.
I will peer a little bit behind the veil and say our good old friend Chap is kind of experimenting right now. So how's it going, big man?
It's going well. I'm just trying out the Angel with a few teams. I didn't get the chance to. I just powered through with like Evelyn dial in for most of it and Yidari. So I didn't really have time to experiment with teams as of yet. So...
Hold up, Yidari. Yidari is because the Angel is ice resistance.
No, sorry. I meant for first half. For most of it, I did Yidari for like the Ice Week enemies, not for specifically the Angel.
That would have been interesting, honestly, because I don't have or can make a good comparison with my M6 Yidari, so that's why I was curious.
I can try my Yidari.
I don't think this is the time for it though.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I think she'll still be moderately okay because she's still getting like all the benefit out of the buffs.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So
you probably
don't feel the ice. You probably don't feel the ice res very much. Like I also do wonder in that case if like bringing Lycon to even out the ice res would be better than having dial in, but
definitely, or at least definitely is odd because dial-in gives you the second ult, which basically overpowers his ice resistance threat with just damage. Ultimates are really strong if you have all the resources and buffs up. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
True. No, so I think did the HP on Chester rise, by the way? That would be interesting.
Since it last time appeared, I don't have it up. I have to look
okay, I
a little
thought
bit.
you have it up. I mean, in
the
general,
Jester is 25 million HP for reference.
Okay.
So like,
And
knowing that basically everything that has appeared up to this point, like the highest HP we've seen is like 28 with Hater. Like seeing 34, like almost 35, is just a pretty staggering increase to think about.
True. Oh, by the way, guys, did you notice that this Shiyu defense is just up for the next 7 days? We just started it in this weekend, right?
Yes.
It's a shorter Shiyu.
It is.
I wonder why that's the case.
Interesting.
We'll talk about that probably. Hopefully,
Yeah.
definitely.
Most definitely.
Depends on how much we ramble.
The last time that Jester was on Shiyu was season 35, and it had 18 million HP. So I guess just the HP went up a lot. And it was also on floor 6. That is important to note. It was on floor 6, so it didn't have floor 7 level HP. But like it's still quite a bit, I think, because the floor 6 enemies, and this is a good segue to the floor 6 enemies on this Shiyu.
Yeah.
Floor 6, Avarice, and Miasmic Hugo both have 24, 25 million HP this time. And in the previous cycle, or not even the previous cycle, in the Jester cycle, it had 18 million. And like in the previous cycle, actual previous cycle, both of the Tepesh and the Troublemaker plus Rampant Brute both had 20 million HP. So this floor has also been beefed up a little bit, but it's honestly like, I'm like looking at the numbers, it's just really surprising. It doesn't feel like that happened, and it's crazy.
I think this is due to buffs and probably due to some extra agents we got with the buffs. I mean, I think even without dial-in, I think it would still do good stuff. I didn't hear too much noise from other people having a big issue with Shiyu defense. So either it is the buff or something else. Like,
I would imagine it's the buff. It's just like crazy to see that difference.
It's actually 3 buffs if we are honest, and if people use Rupture agents, they will have a pretty good time, honestly.
Yeah, Banyue, Monoto, and Itari are like eating extremely good in this buff.
Yeah, and attack agents are basically on the second instance with fire ice damage extra. So everything that is in this particular thing area, like Soldier 11, Manoto, Critnis, for instance, would also work. Miyabi for sure. Who else do we have? Evelyn. I think even Hugo. Really nice. I think even Hugo would work pretty well.
Hugo would maybe not work as well on Avarice because Ice Res, but the Hugo mirror match would kind of go crazy.
Oh, honestly, yeah, I should do that at some point. I think this would be funny. Hugo versus Hugo gameplay.
For my floor 6, I like playing Avarice with Anomaly, just kind of by bias of when it was first introduced. Anomaly was really good for it. But I ended up playing all of floor 6 with just pure Anomaly. Like I said, I was using my benchmark teams, so I had Jane, Vivian, Lucy on the first half for Avarice, and then for Hugo, I had Piper, Bernice, Yuzuha.
Nice.
It was like the first half struggled a fair bit. It was like a 240. But the second half I got sub 2 because I'm goated like that, I guess.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I powered through most of it with Evelyn. Evelyn for like the Fire Week ones, and then like Yudari for at least 4 and 5, and then I had to swap to some Anomaly because things started getting physical resistance. I beat Hugo with Jane Alice because that's my go-to physical team, and then I beat Jester with Alice Yanagi because that team absolutely shreds him.
Yeah, you did a good score. I just saw.
I need to
or let's say time.
I need to finish leveling up my Banyue. He's not core F yet, and I'm getting that on tomorrow as of this recording.
He did not F his Banyu.
I
hear this,
tried,
guys?
okay?
Can you hear this, guys? Seth has not F'd his Banyu. I can't believe it.
When you build 9 agents in the span of 2 patches and spend over 20 million dennies, you would also be strapped for resources.
Just don't go broke.
I will.
This is certified whale talk right here. This is out of my wheelhouse.
I will.
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
Beat you up in a PvP eventually.
Oh man.
In Minecraft. Anyway.
In Minecraft? I see.
Yeah. I basically only mentioned that because I want to try Banyue against Avaros. I think it'll be pretty good. Yeah. Nothing too specific of note there. It's basically just the resistances are like not too bad. Ice. I will say ice resistance, despite the like ice damage buff for the buff, is kind of interesting because it's present in like all of the top 3 floors. In 5, 6, and 7, there's at least one ice resistant enemy. For floor 5, it's not like super relevant because it's like weaker HP, but for 6 and 7, I think you feel that a little bit. Like even if you have Itari, but it's possible that it is just the buff is that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough to vibe these out when the like we got a new enemy. It's tough to vibe that out because we've never fought them in a late game context before.
And with this cycle also being shorter, we're just not going to have as much time to figure it out, so we'll probably have to wait until next time comes around.
True. But still, I mean, we can already grasp a good idea. Like, even though I'm a whale, I still low-costing around from time to time. And you guys are not whales, but you good players. So we do have a variety to gauge the difficulty. And I mean, of course, we are long-time players. Most of us, I think all of us are long-time players.
Yep.
So we do have the resources to basically, let's say, have an easier time, since we also have quite a decent game knowledge acquired. For new players, what I can say is on endgame specifically, especially Shiyu 7 and Deadly Assault, it's more like you have to get a certain rhythm, you have to get a certain disc and basic setup. Since I think one of the last comments in our last podcast we had, there was someone actually asking in the comment section if this is a whale talk show. And I explained, no, the only whale is basically me and everyone is free to play. And then he deleted the comment. So this was very hilarious to see. So what I want to explain here for those who still listen, we are veteran players, but we also do challenges for ourselves most of the time, and we do also low cost runs. We do have let's say a pretty decent knowledge and know-how and can estimate the difficulty of the end game. So,
but we also have that bias from that perspective, because even though like most of us don't whale, you could call it time investment whaling.
That is true.
Because
that is true.
It's still like not everyone was here at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So we try and keep that in mind when we're talking about these things for players who may not have all the characters, who have started, during some of the soft relaunches, or maybe just joined midway through because one of their friends recommended them.
Exactly. I have a good reference source, but I don't play his account, which is Senpai, and he is someone who plays with level 50 agents. And what I can say with his words, that he might have to finally level up some of his agents, like to level 50 or 55. He still wants to meme around with level 1 stunners, but he said that it's getting difficult now, even for him, to play on lower level, and he might have to rise it soon, and maybe even rise agents to level 60 in 2.5. So I think this is a good reference point to include here in the podcast, because there's just for you guys to know, between level 50 and level 60, there's quite a huge damage boost. This is quite a lot. That's why you also have to pay a lot of resources between level 50 and 60, so be wise when leveling your agents. So all things considered, this is, I think, a good benchmark to know that yes, the end game is indeed getting harder, but also the new agents are getting stronger. And as we see, the Shiyu buffs also are pretty strong, since the Angel has so much HP and nobody of us really felt it. Like, we were surprised, all three of us, with the HP.
Yeah. I myself, I fully acknowledge I'm like, I'm a veteran player. I've been playing since 1.0. I'm more horizontal overall. I have a very, very, very wide roster. I don't have every agent in the game, but I have a vast majority of them. And I just acknowledge that I have put a lot more time into mastering the execution than most people would, and that's like where my kind of bias comes from. But it is like, that is most of like how I try to like function around those things, is like being relatable enough with like my roster of having, some limited agents and very few signatures in most teams, to the point where I feel like I can help people out realistically by giving rotation advice and helping them improve. And that's where my strong suit lies. It's not like super like fully relatable to the casual experience, but it's my way of just making sure I can help people best I can. And if it falls through sometimes, then it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. When we're, I don't know. We should probably stop rambling now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good point to bring up. It's a good point to bring up, because like if it's if it's a thing that people are just like not feeling like they can glean information from this podcast, that is kind of the point of the podcast. We want to give the vast player base, or at least the people who are willing to listen and take notes, the information to maybe improve or kind of study some of the bosses and kind of learn about matchups and all that stuff. And that's mostly what we talk about. So it was a good point to bring up.
Yeah. And if you have any questions left, you can just hit us up in the comments, or join even one of our Discord servers, the Battle Hub, for instance, where there are many veteran players that are pretty much willing to help you and your account. So yeah, we are a very open community. So
links in the description below.
Yeah. Very nice. Do we want to cover stage 5 and 4?
Yeah, we can very quickly just brush over 5 and 4. They're fairly standard, all things considered. Only the two new enemies with the Wicked Wraith and the Pugnus that we talked a little bit about last time. But like I still just don't feel like the Wicked Wraith, the miasmic Wicked Wraith, is a unique enemy or super unique enemy from the normal Wicked Wraith. And the Pugnus is still mostly a far body variant, but like again, I have seen more of it being unique than the Wicked Wraith, so I don't have anything of significant note to make besides their floor 4 and 5. So for someone who clears floor 7 consistently with these things are pushovers. I did, however, like knowing that was the case and keeping that in mind, I used some of my weaker benchmark teams on these floors. I end up using Julian, Kaleda, Anby, which is a very, very early like stature team for like agent longevity. And I also used Nekomata, Pulchra, Jafufu, the big triple cats team. It was very cool.
Nice.
Didn't have too much trouble. Nekomata barely got 230 though. That was kind of an issue.
I see. So what I can say about Node 5 is that we have 3 waves in both stages. And I think the most annoying part is the miasma spawn in the second playthrough you have, because you have 4 miasma spawns that are actually hard to collect with Nicole, then Thanatos, and then the Pugnus. So it's definitely advised to have like good agents with AoE. Otherwise it can be a little bit hard, or you have to at least do a few retries to have them spawn, in a tight group and not to spread out. Other than that, I think it's not of a too big issue, honestly. Yeah. That's it from my side.
I don't know. 4 and 5, it's been a long time since I've had trouble with them, so I definitely might not be the best reference on like where you might need help with it.
I think it mostly is grouping. Some of the newer basic enemies are like harder to group for one reason or another, where like the usual grouping methods of Nicole and Rezonabu don't work as well. So like I'm not fully sure about it. I haven't studied it as much. I haven't tried too many options for it, but it's I think the biggest strifing point that I see is just a lot of players like will do those floors and not have the grouping, so they'll just be taking out the basic enemies one at a time, and that wastes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a time waster, so this is just what I wanted to mention.
I will do some looking at that and make a note of it for the next episode.
That might be a good like video to do, like just grouping, like examples of agents who can do good grouping on Shiyu.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But okay,
all right.
Looks like Shiyu is all done and taken care of, so we will move on to Deadly Assault, but first, a word from our sponsor. This episode of the Split God Outpost Investigators podcast is brought to you by Gravity Cinema. All new features ready and available for your screening at any time. Come alone or bring a partner to enjoy a nice movie on the big screen. Popcorn bucket and bubbly drink to keep you invested all the way throughout. You can also be on the lookout for many upcoming features. Gravity Cinema will always be the first to show them in New Eridu. It's absolute cinema at Gravity Cinema. Thank you for sponsoring this video.
Absolute cinema indeed. Thank you for sponsoring. I already grabbed the tickets for me and Yatari, so I'm seated.
Have that date night all planned out.
Oh my. I have seen things.
Oh, okay. All right, on to Deadly Assault then. This cycle is the big triple Ice Week cycle. We have the Wandering Hunter, we have the Thrall, and Sacrifice Bringer.
The comeback of Bringer.
Bringer has returned after way too long, and has been fitted out with a crisp plus 70 million HP or something along those lines. Maybe 50, yes. But yeah, he's a lot beefier than before.
This guy got some fat. I think he didn't move around too much in the hollows.
Conclusion, Miyabi still kicks his butt.
True.
Yeah, so he's actually reliving some Miyabi PTSD now again. So yeah, he will have some fresh new nightmares to share afterwards, after the DA is done. So yeah,
I did like look it up at some point like last week, because I was like talking about it with other people, and I noticed the last time that Bringer was on cycle, I forget what specific season it was, but it was like long ago, and I think it was like near the end of season 1. It was like 1.7 maybe, but it was around that time. And I did notice that the last time Bringer was on cycle, Graceful Mastery was the buff on cycle for Anomaly. So we have Bringer again, and we have Graceful Mastery, and it is exactly the same. So the like comparison difference of kind of what we can see in the HP increase is a direct correlation, except for the fact the last time Bringer was on cycle, Yuzuha was not out. So the only difference for most Anomaly teams is that they now have Yuzuha at their disposal. But otherwise, the slate is basically exactly the same, except for the HP increase.
There's another increase you can't forget, and that is with Yuzuha came the Anomaly Mastery bar increase as well.
That is also true, yeah.
So basically, for people not using Yuzuha this time on the Bringer run, mathematically should have a little bit of a harder time proccing anomalies. Apart from, I think at that time, most of the people used attack 6 on Miyabi. So if you're using now Anomaly Mastery, it should be easier to get it done, normally done again with the Anomaly procs. So yeah, this is definitely a thing to consider. There was a race in the background data of the bosses, and I think Bringer should be affected as well.
I didn't know that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, the more you know. But yeah, overall, let's say I will start as a veteran half whale player. This year was a lot of fun for my side.
Shiyu.
Deadly Assault. Oops. This Deadly Assault was quite fun. I started to play with some of my lower agents beforehand, before I went through there with stronger agents. Like, for instance, I think I tried Thrall again with Hugo, Pulchra, and Lycan. This time, though, I didn't try too hard to make it possible with the trick to get the stun during the croc phase. So that's the thing. I can't freestar it if I don't do that. But I was again between 16 and 19k points. I think I tried like 3-4 times, which means that I think the difficulty from Thrall now and last time is kind of the same, even though we got different buffs. And other than that, Wandering Hunter, I tried with Manato. I got to around 40k. I have to say, though, I use Manato M6 with M1 Lucia and M1 Fufu. You can do better if you have more skills, honestly, with that team. But for my caliber, it is a solid run. And Bringer, I tried Mono Eyes. I'm still skillishing Mono Eyes. Other people with M0 or M1 Miyabi kill it, while I don't. And I have also Yuzu M2. So that's like skill issue on my end, and also not having time to perfection it. I got 52k. I think overall it's a solid Deadly Assault, at least from my assumption. But I could be too biased with my stronger account. How did you guys feel about it?
I have been just spending, like, this was where the cycle that I was going to use for my benchmark that I previously mentioned. So I've just been using a whole bunch of teams against the thing. All of my like teams have a pretty balanced set of like just above average builds, and most of them, not actually most of them, all of them have fairly low, like low caliber teams for kind of, you know, what it would be, like what would be compared to their best in slot teams. So with that in mind, I have been playing a lot of things in this Deadly Assault. I have 9 teams that I was doing my benchmark with, and most of them are doing moderately okay. I've gotten 4 teams that have already gotten 9 stars, and 6 of them have gotten at least 6 stars. There are 2 specific teams that are struggling a lot in this cycle, and those are, well, one of them is an anomaly team in Jane, Vivian, and Lucy, and then the second one is a physical DPS team in Neko, Pulchra, Jafufu. And not surprisingly, it's because there are 2 physical resistant bosses on this cycle. So, yeah, we're kind of struggling out here, but my benchmark is going well enough. The Jane team got 3 stars total across all 3 bosses, and I've gotten 13k on Bringer, so I can maybe get 2 stars on that fight. But the Neko team has gotten almost 2 stars on Wandering Hunter, and is not even close to 2 stars on Bringer. I was like barely able to kill the hand as it was. So yeah, it's been rough. All of my other teams involve like some anomaly teams with Piper, Bernice, and then Yanagi and Miyabi. Some other crit teams with Ellen and Julian, and then the most free-to-play teams, or not free-to-play, but like most low like caliber teams are for the Rupture agents because they're newer and like naturally stronger. So I put Idhari with Pan and A-Rank Anbi, and then I put Monato with Ben and Lucia. And Lucia's pretty strong, but she's also M0 without her signature. So she's like not too much stronger than Pan, still fairly strong. But yeah, like those 2 teams were able to get 8 and 6 stars respectively. And everything else has been at least able to get 6. The Ellen and Miyabi teams got 9, not surprising because Ice DPS is into Ice Week content. And yeah. Yeah, it's been going pretty okay for me. Mostly expected results, some more troubles than I thought would be for some of my teams, but I'm feeling all right. I think the game's in like overall not as bad of a place as I thought it would be.
If you think about the physical resistances for your physical teams, and there's a lot of physical DPS we have in the game as well, I think this sounds quite solid, honestly. And not everyone is, you know, playing with people have to imagine what Savatra is doing here is like he's playing with suboptimal teams, and also like he doesn't share gear or disc sets. So
yeah, I make that a personal challenge, but like with people being able to share gear, it's like they'll usually be able to have better
time.
builds than like if they have any amount of investment into their builds. Like mine are only barely at the line of like slightly above average, and that's in terms of like 30 subs for like my crit DPSs, and then like 20 subs for my anomaly DPSs. My Piper is kind of my Piper is kind of just a disorder battery, and I didn't realize this till I counted it, but my Piper's at 13 subs, and that's kind of low for like what I thought it would be. But like that's definitely more of the average, like, or even below average like build for that, and she's still doing just fine. So yeah, I'm also not playing these teams perfectly, and that's something else I want to emphasize, because playing so many teams and being fluent in the teams means I can't play them perfectly. I have to know them to an okay degree, but I can't like spend too much time on a single boss with a single team for a certain rotation, or else like it becomes unrelatable and like I feel the struggle, and like I just kind of take the baseline measurement that I can. So yeah, like overall I think most of the roster does okay in my experience, but that's also like I'm also one blip point in a huge set of data, so take from that what you will.
By the way, take from that what I will. I hope you will share me your data, because I do want to include it in my report for 2.4.
Of course. I did also do a like addendum thing for last cycle. I did play my teams into the last cycle's Fiend and Marionette. So I have like a little more data, but I didn't record those. I just kind of played those for feelers.
Honestly, the data this time is fine. I don't want to make the video too long. Anyways, Chep, by the way, how do you feel about the Deadly Assault? What were the teams?
It was fine. I got pretty good scores on all of my teams. Particularly Thrall and Wandering Hunter. I don't know if that's just because Rupture Go Burr, but I don't know. I was able to get 2,800 on Wandering Hunter with Caesar on the team Yijuan. So that's either a testament to how strong Yijuan is, or that's a testament to how strong the Rupture weakness is on Wandering Hunter.
I do feel like Hunter is like I have felt the buff of all time with using Rupture on Hunter compared to using the crit DPSs. Like Anomaly does fine on it, I think, and crit DPSs also do fine on it. Like they do about roughly the same. It is very obvious that Rupture does significantly better, even with like worse teams and suboptimal play.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't tried it with Monato because my Monato is still nowhere near where I want him to be. So
I've been spending a bit of time aside from my benchmark as well, also doing the Banyue gaming onto Hunter, and my Banyue is again slightly underleveled still, but I did pull Banyue. That did happen. He's very, very, very fun, and I like using him.
I'm happy for you.
Not fun.
Congratulations.
Not fun
happy for you. Glaring at me with daggers.
Oh, beautiful. I'm glad you're having fun with your not effed Banyo, by the way.
Dude, he's getting like he's getting almost 40k with just core E and like
nice.
max EX skill. So I'm like doing pretty alright, I think.
Steph Gaming, let's go. That's awesome, honestly, to hear, because so many people are still basically scared that Banyu is not strong enough. But I think, even though he's not meta, I think he is doing alright, especially when now people and players are finding out some tricks like canceling his mountain thingy, etc., into a chain attack and all those little funny gimmicks. So yeah, I think over time people will find more techniques you can do, and other people can copy it then too, because of course right now for the next 2 weeks people will try, especially pro players will try a lot of things and see what they can do with Banyu. Chap, by the way, I saw something very interesting. How is the bringer going? Because I saw you didn't do the 3 stars, or it was close. Did you have
bringer was fine. That was just me experimenting with Miyabi Yanagi.
Okay. So you did got all the 9 stars, right?
Before. Yeah, my 9 stars were done with Miyabi and Vivian. I got 24K.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. So, now we're chilling.
Nice.
I don't think this. I think the buffs this week compensate very nicely. For the strength of the bosses for Deadly Assault. As long as you kind of like know what you're doing. And even just getting the getting the 6-star, I think that's very doable this week for lower power accounts.
Yeah.
I would even go as far to say that the whole patch of 2.4 was a very solid DA build because we had really good buffs for Deadly Assault. Like, we always had a Rupture buff, we always had an Attacker buff and an Anomaly buff for all 3 DPS classes. And inside of these buffs, like if we look at the Rupture buffs, they were okay and not too shield. Like, there was 1 or 2 segments that were for all Rupture agents, and then there was the last segment that is like specifically for Ice Ether or Fire damage. Like in this Shiyu, it is especially focused on fire damage, the last secondary buff. So like agents like Itari or Yishuan won't benefit from the X special attack increase. But overall, all those buffs are really good. The attacker buffs is really good, even has all damage res ignore into its kit. With extra damage later on, and of course Graceful Mastery, as we know, is a very strong buff for the anomaly agents. So overall, like compared to 2.3, 2.4 is a really good balanced endgame challenge for like regular players, like casuals, but also veteran players. Like the only things probably that some people might complain about is the bosses itself, but and maybe some HP instances. But overall, I think it was a really solid 2.4 end game cycle we had, because Shiyu buffs were also good, and in 2.4 Shiyu had also a bigger variety than before, because beforehand it was always like the shadow enemies on 2. Like in stage 5 or 6, and Sevadra always complained a little bit about it. Fair enough, honestly. It was fair enough. I did understand it from where it was coming from. So yeah, all in all, 2.4 has improved quite a lot of issues that previously people had. And the only current strongest issues in 2.4 what people have is some enemies HP. For instance, Fiend in the last DA cycle. This cycle it is Bringer that is like really beefed up. And yeah, a few other things we can talk about, because right now we are talking about 2.4 and we are shortly in front of 2.5 that brings a lot of changes. So what do you want to take on from there?
I will mention that I can't believe it took 2 patches for Seed to get her shell buff of basic attack damage and damage or defense ignore, plus a major ton of attack increase, because that tempering body is actually just an insanely good buff for Seed overall.
Seed? Seed?
I mean, I don't
Seed.
have Seed, but now that you say it, actually, you're right.
Yeah, people just kind of pointed it out. Was like, wait, this buff is insanely good for Seed, and they're like, yeah, you're right, it is.
That's
But
hilarious.
yeah, it's too bad that like Thrall is electric resistant, but I think Thrall's electric resistance is becoming a similar case of Typhon's fire resistance in that it's only a suggestion if you're playing like Sandby or Seed into Thrall. I've seen a lot more people than I thought I would playing both of those agents into Thrall and doing like tremendously fine, like getting over 30Ks, and I'm like, that's a lot for a resist.
Well, I think it's because
I think
it's. If I had to guess, it's probably just because Sandby and Seed do so much raw damage.
Yeah.
And Sobek probably like doesn't like that.
Sobek just falls over.
Damage.
Sobek just falls over and explodes.
Yeah. So I'd imagine that's probably the major reason for that. I could even like, try it in the background.
Yeah, the buff is like really good for Seed. And I think Sandby's also doing really well on Thrall. But yeah, this cycle is overall just really, really good. Blood is right.
Yeah. I mean, Shu Yuan also benefits from this buff as well as Harumasa.
Yes.
Yeah, so... and also Soldier 11.
Yes. Soldier 11, like the agent who's getting buffed, like in 2.5, like that segue that you made like 5 minutes ago. So we'll talk about it now.
Yeah, let's get on to that, because that is going to greatly change
a lot of things. So yeah, the 2.5 special program happened the past 3 days, like within the past 3 days of this recording, and so the major changes that are happening are like related to the podcast is that Shiyu is changing its format. So
yeah,
the way that we cover Shiyu is more than likely going to change because Shiyu has been turned from a 7-node game into a 5-node game, and the last final node is basically an imitation of Threshold Simulation from what I can tell, wherein you will now need more than 2 teams to clear each part of Node 5, but it is also split into 3 individual fights. You basically have 2 fights to get yourself a score modifier that are stages based on time, and then you play a third big final stage that you have to do in a Deadly Assault style damage score fight and get this as much score as you can to achieve an S rank or an S plus rank or whatever the metric will be for that. We don't have all of the specific details yet, but we will be going over those when the patch turns and when we record our first episode after the patch, because we are not going to be recording an episode for another 2.5, 3 weeks at this point, because the cycle turns in 8 days of this recording for Shiyu, and the patch itself will also start that day, but also along with that, Deadly Assault will also be turning at a different rate, as in they're both going to be cycling at the same time now, compared to like 1 week off of each other. And so our episode recordings are going to be a little more consistent, I think, but we will have to figure that out as like we get to see what the cycles are going to look like, and if they're going to include something else, or how that's all going to work. But we will be giving an update on that in the next episode, recorded after the new year, and after everyone's acquainted with 2.5.
right.
Beyond that, not specific to the podcast, we have multiplayer, guys. Are we still excited for multiplayer?
I mean,
I'm so excited.
I am still excited, but I'm hesitant from all the stuff that happened with the auto chest event.
I agree.
Yeah, the IP issue is dampening a little bit the excitement.
I completely agree, and I'll briefly mention it again. If you weren't here in the past couple episodes, the Bangbu Chess Legend event basically had a exploit where people were able to grab IPs in plain text, and it realistically isn't a super big issue because it's not like private IPs, it's public IPs, but it's still bad to be able to just grab someone's IP in a live service game where people are like kind of ruthless sometimes. I'm not gonna like name any names, but it's like that's not very good, and that kind of ruins a sanction of trust that you would have in a game like this, where like there is the ability to encrypt things, but for some reason it's just not for some events, and I really hope it is for the multiplayer because I really want to play the multiplayer, but would it be worth it after the certain point? I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I played the Chess Legends game, but only in single mode.
Yes.
And the last points, the last achievement holds back use some polychromes, title, and mats, but I still haven't touched it. It's not worth it, honestly, to do so. So I have left it out, and the thing is, I haven't heard anything about a fix yet. So sadly, I mean, it is only currently, as far as we know, it is only on the chess event multiplayer thing. We don't know if it actually is also there for the Bangbu events we had in the past with the Fall Guys Bangbu gameplay, and we have no idea how they will handle the multiplayer stuff. I'm still excited for the multiplayer because this is something that ZZZ wanted to do in its beta, apparently, and it had it in its beta, but they didn't put it into the game beforehand. And also, to mention it, in 2.5, the multiplayer is at the first instance just an event and not permanent, because they need to gather more data and test it out with the compatibility of the servers and the players itself. But we are getting it, and we are in the testing phase for it, and hopefully they will improve from that point onwards, and hopefully also tackling the IP issue, because I do believe that it is not intentional, maybe, but it is still
sure hope not.
But it is a safety critical error that shouldn't be coming from a company, especially a multi-million company. So yeah.
Just to and a little more of a positive note, if because like I am gonna play multiplayer, I think regardless, but it will be a thing where like it's currently just gonna be a limited time event because they have 9 agents in their pool to kind of test things out and see how their changes would like affect each of the agents in the multiplayer landscape. They're going to be adding more over time, but this is basically their first little test run.
True. Also, they are changing the agents' kits by a lot. Really, a lot.
Agent kits are changing, and we'll maybe end up going over that in a special episode of its own. But yeah, that's gonna be kind of functionally how it works. And you know, they'll have to stick around and see. I am again excited for it, and I do hope that the issues do get addressed. But yeah, overall, I mean, 2.5, the Void Hunter patch gaming. Since this is a whale podcast for whales only, we can also talk about the Monochrome top-up event that they talked about.
What are you talking about? Whale? I'm the only one. Oh man, I'm dry. I don't have any polychromes left, and I will skip okay? So I'm skipping the horse dog, whatever thingy Thyron that is,
It's a horse Thyron. But
I mean, yeah.
Like
I'm skipping.
I'm like also skipping a Shunggong personally. But in the second half there's gonna be the triple rerun banner, and I'm possibly picking up Practice Perfection, the Alice signature. If I have enough pulls after the fact, I will go for Alice as well, because I don't have her, but I'm getting the engine first because it'll be a market upgrade over Roaring Ride for Piper, which I've been using on her for God knows how long at this point. But yeah, there's also the Monochrome selector from the top-ups thing. We don't know how much that's going to cost, but if you spend enough, then you will get things to be able to use an agent selector, and the agent selector is all of the standard agents, and it then includes Jane, Chingy, and Bernice. And Bernice is one of the agents getting buffed next patch. The other two agents in that selector being buffed are Soldier 11 and Grace. Other than
the fact that they're putting them on that selector banner suggests to me that they might be the next buff ease on the chopping block. I say chopping block.
Perhaps. Yeah, they did say in a dev talk that released yesterday, actually, that they would be buffing all of the standard agents regardless. Yes. But we don't know about the next limited agents getting buffs yet. So Jane and Chingy are good candidates, I think.
Yeah, apparently what I saw in the talk was them explaining that at the end they will buff or seem like to buff every agent before 2.x is what I heard.
That's fast if they're gonna be doing
what
that.
I read. I mean, over time, we have to consider that it is a long time project what they're doing, and they can't do like buff everyone immediately. We have to consider that, but it is confirmed that definitely all the standard agents will get a buff. There's nothing said about the A ranks, sadly. Maybe they will get some love at the end, but probably they are not the top priority. And there was also, I think it was today that dropped, also a storyboard behind the scenes video. So for those people who are interested in story talk, they can also watch this, by the way.
Yeah.
Lots of plans.
Note, the buff or the buffs are being handled differently. They're being handled kind of like a progression thing.
Yeah. So, like, there's gonna be
you're not
new progression system.
Unfortunately, no just click a button, buffs enabled. You'll have to progress, which I am not the hugest fan of, but I can see why they're doing it if they're doing a massive overhaul for characters.
It probably just makes it easier to streamline buffs in the future.
Yeah.
What they said, though, is the first stage is free for all. So you basically only have to get 5 of those, and the resources you get are from your daily activities.
Yeah.
So the first stages you can also buy it in shop.
The first stages of every like potential ascension or potential activation is also like strictly focused on the kit changes. So the like transition from how they have current like Ellen and Soldier Zero buffs, it'll basically be transferred to the like potential activation in their first stages. The kit changes will be there, and then the other parts of the progression are basically all stats that they will just integrate into specific parts of the kit as you unlock them. Is how I understand it.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait till it's actually released to fully like proper understand it, but it is definitely, I mean, buffs are good. It is a bit of a band-aid fix for power creep, because if eventually, you know, we'll get more agents and then they'll be more powerful than the old agents, and then the buffs won't be as impactful anymore.
Yeah, but it's just normal.
It's also still very nice to be able to play agents that you probably have a couple mindscapes for if you've been playing for any significant period of time. Or, you know, you get your limited selector, or just accumulate standard pulls, or you're just really unlucky with your 50-50s.
Right.
It's just nice. It's nice that they realize that people want to play these characters because they're cool.
Yep.
So that's a big W.
Yeah, they do more than other games. Like, I have played a few other gacha games, if I am allowed to get this a little bit, if I stretch a little bit. And not many games I know do care about older agents and buffing them. And to be honest, power creep is something that every gacha game has, because obviously, if the next character isn't stronger than the previous one, people won't get it. It's just a customer thing. Like, basically, the ones who play the game, we are at fault there, because the majority always seeks the next powerful, agent you can collect. And if it's like weaker, well, best example is Banyu. So many people said they skip Banyu because he isn't strong enough, and then they see like Dial In or now the new Void Hunter, and they're like salivating over those agents, but at the same time complain about power creep and meta gameplay. So it's like a customer's fault, honestly, at that point, that of course, the company that sells you the game starts power creeping, But ZZC is kind enough to get to bring you the older agents along with the journey, because at least in the interview, if we want to believe them, they do explain that they also like the first gen agents, and CCC shall rise basically with everyone in the city, which includes all the agents. So if you want to believe that story, and be positive about the gameplay and watch the videos about the CCC devs in the background, then it's I think a very solid approach from the game devs to do that. And I do hope they don't rush it too much, because if you rush something too much, it will get too faulty. So I don't mind if they take more time.
Yeah. Well said.
And, yeah. And, like, bare minimum, if, things don't happen the way that they say it does, hey, we're getting 3 buffs for 3 very underplayed characters.
True. Huzzah. I can't wait. I probably will get Grace, honestly. I have her M4, and I still have no Electric Anomaly agent, because I skipped Yanagi. So yeah, I probably will get me Grace and level her up first, and probably go for Soldier 11, even though I'm still not sure, but I might do it, because, yeah, she looks cool in the videos, what they showed already. So, yeah.
I know that if the selector, the monochrome selector, is not an absurd amount, I may spend a little bit, but if there's like a certain threshold, like if it's above, I don't know, 50 or 50 is probably even way too high. I'm like hoping for maximum 20 bucks. And I'm like, okay.
My personal threshold is 100 US dollars, but anything further than that is kind of pushing it for myself personally. But yeah, if I'm able to obtain it, then my most likely candidate is M2 Bernice, just because I already have M1 and I do still enjoy her as a character, and I play her the most out of any other agent on my roster, despite the fact that people have forgotten about that. But that's okay. We vibe around here. But yeah, it's going to be Bernice for me. As much as I want Chingy, I will just have to wait again. But it is what it is.
Yeah, what engine would you get, by the way? Because you have Bernice engine, so which engine would you get? Because you get a free engine as well.
Well, the engine you get the agent before you get the agent.
The engine.
Sorry, other way
it's both. It's both.
No, you get, but it's on the track. Like, you get the agent before you get the engine.
Oh, this might be, yeah.
So,
like, if I'm gonna be able to get the engine, I'm considering getting just P3 Bernice signature, but it'll like it'll be between that and another Weeping Cradle, because I want a P5 Weeping Cradle.
I see. That's fair enough. Yeah. Chep, what agent would you get?
I'm grabbing. I would probably grab Bernice, just because I already have Jane. I could get Xingyi, and that is an electric stunner, but I have trigger already, and like trigger kind of power crept Chingy.
I see.
And then like I don't have Bernice. Bernice still to this day has a niche that no one else does, which is being a fire anomaly agent. So there's that. Again, this is hypothetically if I do actually get it. Like it's still up in the air whether or not I will.
I mean, yeah, but if you could grab it, you would go for Bernice, which is interesting. That makes us free. I would also grab me Bernice M1, and I would also get her signature, because up to this day I still have not her sig. So, and I'm a sucker for my Miyabi, Bernice, and before that it was Astra. Now Yuzua team. I love the anomaly, the fire ice anomaly disorder. I still love to play with it, and with Bernice buff, and also then her being M1 and having her signature engine, I think this will be a very, very funny team. So can't wait for that one. Honestly, can't wait. Yeah. And I have no limits, so I have a budget for next year. So I will grab it. No, I will grab
Whale
it anyway.
maxing. Whale maxing.
Yeah.
Allegations of the Whale podcast will never go away from this point on, and that's okay.
Hey, at this point I have to accept it, and I just live it out.
With that, we will come to nearly the end of the podcast here, but before we go, the bosses for the next Deadly Assault cycle will in fact be the new 2.5 story boss, and then Unfathomable, the Miasmic Fiend, and Wandering Hunter. The buffs are going to be fairly decent. Sonata's making a return. Sonata's a very good buff with a decibel regen and good damage res on using ultimate and EX special attacks. Dream Delusion will be the anomaly buff, which is anomaly proficiency, reduced defense, and increased anomaly damage when inflicting anomaly. And then Focus Energy is looking to be the Yisheng Guang Shill buff type deal, where it's focused primarily on physical damage, stun damage multiplier, and then when in Ether Veil, agent attacks ignore 10% of physical res and 15% of defense. So, yeah, very physical focused, more than likely, because of Yisheng Guang.
Let's go.
Then Corrin will go crazy with Zhao, because you can put Corrin in Ether Veil with Zhao, and it'll be great. Trust.
Damn, I guess I have to get Shao now and her signature.
It's a good thing that Zhao will be free if you use the pre-registration link in the description and sign up for the materials to get her up to level 40 for free. We need 30 million signups, and if you want a character who's pretty cool and runs like a cartoon character, you can do that.
She's the Roadrunner, but as a bunny.
But yeah, that will be that for the time for the outro. Thirsty, where can we find you?
You can find me mainly on YouTube. My video topics are mainly focused on one hand with the report video that is about ZZZ's endgame and how balanced it is. So we talked about it before. I do quite the evaluation in an objective side, next to doing some other funny videos where I do some runs. Sometimes a little bit more serious and sweaty. Sometimes I do a few joke runs where I, for instance, use Corrin Anomaly and Piper Crit in the same team. And overall, you can also find me in Discord, in various Discord servers, mainly in the Battle Hub, in the Battle Maniacs, and the Senpai server. Sometimes I peek into Ethan's server as well. So yeah, I'm far spread, and I do have a good mod team in the Battle Hub that is with Savatra and also Chap from Canada. And Savadra is apparently my second in command, my co-owner. So where can we find you apart from the Battle Hub?
Apparently, I can be found on YouTube and Twitch at the username Savadra. And I am also apparently around various other Discord places, such as the Battle Hub, and various small content creator servers, and lurking in a few big content creator servers as well. I also am just kind of a guy who's doing a thing. I make appearances on some streams sometimes, and I also am the primary operator of the Zenless Fights Twitch channel, where we do PvP related streams pretty much every Saturday. Sometimes during the week. Might have something special coming up for the holiday season, but there's more planning to be done about that. And yeah, I exist. I'm pretty cool. Chap, where can you find you?
You'll find me around. Primarily, if you want to contact, if you want to see me in a Zenless related context, you'll find me in the Battle Hub. The description.
And if you want to contact him, you will find him in Canada. Just drop some trees, and maybe in the next moose section, you will find him strolling around in the deep forest of Canada.
So true, bestie.
Beautiful.
Yeah. With that, that will be the end of the episode. So have a good holiday season. We'll see you guys at the turn of the patch. Have a good one.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Listening.